everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here with some of my favorite people today, always and forever. I'm going to have them start off by introducing themselves and welcome to our panel.
You can introduce yourself, though.
Oh, my bad. Hi, everybody. My name is Alejandro Ibanez. I'm currently a part of Mike as well, and I'm just going to toss it off. I don't like doing titles and bios. Look me up in the app. That'll tell you everything. Thank y'all. We need more engagement on the app too anyways, so why not? I'm going to pass it off to Tia.
All right, well, that's messed up because I usually assess how far I go with mine based on the person that went before me.
You are the center stage. You are the star of the universe and everything. Go for it.
Oh, my goodness. Nope, I'm literally just Tia Hopkins. I am the Chief Cyber Resilience Officer and Field Chief Technology Officer at eCentire. I've been in IT security for about 25 years, and I love what I do and how I do it.
My name is Mary Cheney.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fern Johnson, and I'm new to the MIC family. Thank you, Mary, for inviting me and getting me in and connected. So I just recently retired, which I know is kind of funny because it just doesn't look like retirement age. But I was the CTO Vice President of Infrastructure and Operations at PepsiCo. I just left about 6 weeks ago. So, and I had a brief cybersecurity stint for about a few years doing OT cyber work, circa 2014, 2016, 2018 timeframe. So, we can talk about that.
Perfect. So we're going to start off with a couple easy questions first. I also encourage y'all to upload any questions that you have for our panelists via the Wahova app as well, so I can read them versus handing the mic around. But our first question is, what is your star sign? And that was submitted by an audience member.
Uh-oh.
Hi, my name's Alejandro. I'm a double Leo. Passing it down.
What's a double Leo?
Your sun and moon.
All I got is Capricorn. I don't even know what the other stuff means.
My birthday was yesterday, so I am an Aries. Thank you. My moon sign is Leo, so I'm a double fire.
Wow. I didn't get the memo. I'm with Tia, I'm a Capricorn, and I'm a goat. That's all I know.
Goat.
Awesome. So now that we got some personal stuff out of the way, I want to start about your early career influences. So I wanted to say if you could share a pivotal moment from your careers that have led you to, one, be able to adapt, and two, stand up on the stage today and be who you are.
We're going to shake up a little first, right?
Yeah. What was the first part? Say the first part again?
The first one is just early career influence that has, I forgot my own question, but early career influence and what have you adapted to allow you to be on the stage today?
All right, I'll start. So my dad was my early career influence. So I'm a 70s baby, and my father was in telecom way back in the day. And, you know, he brought technology home. So I'm originally from New York, moved from New York to Connecticut in the 80s. Bronx in the house, Bronx in the house. Hey. Queens, all right. Boogie down. We'll put Queens in there. Anyway, long story short, so my father was a huge influence. And I didn't even know I was learning technology until I got to university. I went to Pace University in New York. And so the pivotal point, so the connection point really early was learn from my dad, was able transferable skills. The second pivotal point, and I will preach this all day long as you give me a mic to talk, is going global. And so, especially in this cyberspace, if you learn how to do business globally, I'd probably turned that corner about 15 years ago, and I would never go back. And so it was very instrumental for me to, first I worked on a project. My CIO chose me to work on a project that was kind of operated nationally, but it was global exposure, but it was really operating from the US. And it really kind of scratched the surface. But then when I found, you know what, you really have to work globally, either live abroad. I traveled abroad extensively in the past, I'd say 10 years, and learning how to do business, I'm telling you, globally, to know how to do it differently in China, in Malaysia, in London, in South America, is huge. So I think that as you look at your careers, wherever you are in your career, if you have the opportunity, that's a huge pivotal point. It will be a differentiator in how other organizations view you if you can work globally.
So early career influences. So as I shared with you guys this morning, everything that I've ultimately done is I've been a pioneer, right? I did not have family members that were there to give me guidance. I just really went with my instinct and followed my curiosity. So for me, it was just, oh, I'm good at this IT stuff. So I get an information systems degree. Oh, Claire Huxtable is a lawyer. I can be a lawyer too. And so let me go to law school. Oh, okay. They lost, the FBI came to the law school. Oh, y'all gonna give me a gun? Hey, sign me up for that too. And so everything that I've done, my cybersecurity career has not been on purpose, but what it has taught me, my journey, is to remain curious and just follow what your passion. It's like if it's something that you didn't know, go out and figure it out. And what allows me to be on stage today and what brings with me every day is you guys. You guys need to see people that look like you in a position that they can help you, because we can all feel isolated and alone when we are, again, the only ones in the room. So I was told my first corporate role by my former boss. His name is James Beeson. He said, Mary, he's a white guy. He said, Mary, it's part of your responsibility as a black woman to be on stage. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome.
And this light is hot, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Similar to Mary, I didn't have guidance. I had support, but not a lot of guidance. So it was a whole lot of figuring things out, throwing things against the wall to see what would stick. But I think in terms of early influence, what influenced me early in my career was actually society. Because when you're young and female and black and tattooed and a lesbian and the list goes on and on and on and on, you get told all the time why you can't or you shouldn't, why you won't. And so society groomed me to say, I will. I'm going to prove to you that I can be whoever I want to be, and I'm going to do it my way, not the way you say I have to do it. And so anything that I wanted to pursue, I did, or anything someone told me I couldn't, I did. And that led to just this relentless curiosity, this sense of boldness, especially, I would say, at a pivotal point in my career when I found my voice and realized that it had meaning. That was huge, because it wasn't about me just being in a room and being loud. It was about me saying things that influence change, right? That lets you know people are listening to you and your ideas are valuable. So that changed me as a person. I played football, women's tackle football, for like 12 years. I coach the sport now. So a lot of my leadership skills and the way I approach situations just with confidence, even if I'm scared out of my mind, comes a lot from that, because it's you versus you, right? To Mary's earlier point, my life changed when I got out of my own way. People gonna always be in your way, but the last person that can be in your way is you. So when I got over the whole, oh, the world is against me and nobody wants to hear what I have to say and nobody wants to listen to the black girl and all those things, because that's just noise, and that noise is always gonna be there, but I choose how I respond to that. You know, the old school folks in here will know the phrase, baby, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to, right? And I don't answer to the noise, I don't answer to the garbage, I answer to Tia. And Tia writes the rules and shatters the glass ceilings.
Can we get a round of applause? So, this next audience question, which I love this one a lot, was how has your industry changed since you started your career? And what do you see as future trends?
I guess it's my turn, huh? Okay. Well, how has the industry changed? Well, it used to be called information assurance. Oh, look at that. I don't even know that word. Way back in the day. Then it became information security. and now it's cybersecurity. So what's the difference? Absolutely nothing. They just rebranded. I mean, you guys know I talked to a lot of younger folks. I had a person that went and got an information security degree and then went and got a cybersecurity degree and said it was the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. 1,000%. So the industry, what happens is technology changes. The fundamental principles of information security, cybersecurity are the same. And I don't know if that's feedback from my mic, but it's ultimately the same foundationally, but technology moves faster than security. So what we end up doing is always behind the 8 ball, right? Because even when we start talking about AI, and I know all the apprentices, they say, oh, AI is gonna take our jobs. No, it's not. Because guess what? There still has to be a person behind that. And then if they do take the menial jobs, y'all probably want them to take the L1 role. But you still need a SOC 2 to analyze business, right? How this stuff impacts business. And so that they can't teach a machine how to understand risk, at least in my opinion, because the AI is just being told what to do. It's tactical. It's not just strategic, right? And so I think as the industry changes, as technology continues to change and continues to grow, there's still going to be need for each and every last one of you to put forth the effort of trying to keep the machines from killing us all. No, I'm sorry, this is a joke.
She's talking about Tesla, y'all. Avoid those cars, like.
But no, I think there's still room, right? Because the AI didn't stop what happened in Vegas, right? You know, the machines can't police the machines. There still needs to be a human being involved. So even as the industry changes and that technology moves fast, there's still room and space for people that look at it differently, which is from a security perspective.
I would add to that, Mary. I think that yes, it's changing, the technology's changing, and the roles are changing, which is why that continual learner is so important, because it's not your technology pushing you out of an opportunity. There are new opportunities. Are we staying at pace to what's going to take to support the technology and where it's going? And so that's why I feel the fear of jobs going away, all the data says that we in the United States are not ready for all the opportunities that are going to be out there. So the world is still our oyster when it comes to cybersecurity, when it comes to whatever you want to call tech. We've gone from information technology to just broader tech, but there's a plethora of opportunity out there. We just have to learn, stay at pace with where it's going, and the roles just might be different.
You actually are leading to my next question as well, too. Tia, I'll let you go real quick, and then we'll jump into it. But to prepare you for it, it's what advice, based on your experience, would you give to professionals trying to navigate the complexities of today's work environment? And you said long-time learner. I was going to bring that up as a later.
Okay, I'm going to try to hold on to 2 questions at once. So I agree with everything that was said in terms of how the industry has changed and future trends. I'm going to add a point and then make a different point. I think to the point of us worried about technology replacing our jobs, I think we have passed the era where technology replaces people, and now technology is assisting people. And as technology professionals, we have to look at it that way, because that's the only way we will be prepared for the future, because the average consumer is becoming heavily reliant on technology to the point that we're not asking questions, we're not reading privacy statements. I just want to use my Amazon Echo, so I'll check whatever boxes you tell me to check, right? And who's going to read a 15-page document before they activate their iPhone? Not me. I got calls to make. I got things to do, right? But as technology continues to advance, like you think about ChatGPT and how we just jumped on that, it's a black box, right? And we're just taking it for what it is. And technology is supposed to assist us. Artificial intelligence, machine learning means technology is supposed to learn from us. But from a future trend perspective, my fear is that we are going to start learning from it. And then we're in trouble. Like, who owns what? The other point I'll add in terms of what I'm seeing change is when this rapid adoption of technology really started to take off, the super in the weeds technical people were the champions. That's just who everybody, they got all the praise. But now that the business has become more and more impacted by the implications of advanced technology, now the leader that is most differentiated is the leader that understands the technology and can translate that into a business conversation. So I think that's why the term influencer is starting to be popular, like not in like the social media, I got a big brand sense, but you have to be an influencer within the business. And to influence the business, you have to understand the business and how technology enables the business, right? So the future leaders in this industry will be leaders that understand technology and those implications and that can articulate those things in a way that non-technical business leaders understand.
Now I'm going to kick it off to Fern for the next question.
Sure. You're going to have to repeat that
Oh,
question. You know we
sorry.
can't
I
hold
tried,
on
I
to
lost
that
it.
No,
stuff.
you're good. So, based on your experience, what advice would you give to professionals trying to navigate the complexities of today's work environment?
Complexities of today's work environment. So I think you were keying off of my lifelong learner comment. So I would say a couple things. In order to navigate in today's workplace, I feel, and I really feel strongly about this, and I don't think I answered, Alejandro, your question around why am I on the stage, which was, I think, your first intro question. I'm on the stage because I don't see enough of us in leadership. And there are too many opportunities, and I don't see Black and Latinos out there getting those leadership opportunities. And so if I can be a role model to say, how can I accelerate your path to greatness, that's the reason why I'm on the stage. So to answer that answers that one question. The next one around how to navigate these waters, I'm just going to tell you a couple things. I talked already about going global. Getting an opportunity and experience to work outside the United States is critical. 2 is your network. You have to work your network continuously, not when you need your network. You've got to nurture that network, and you've got to continue to feed it so that when something comes up, it's a phone call. I mean, I will tell you, in the last 6 months, there was some rocky road for me that I worked through. My network, phone call away. So do you have your own personal board of directors, the folks that you can call, that's going to tell you what you want to hear, support you, tell you what you don't want to hear, and support you through your journey as you go through your ups and your downs in your career. If you don't have your personal board of directors, work on getting that ASAP. And that could be a hybrid combination of your, you're laughing, what?
Go ahead.
No, okay.
Something we teach them in the LEAD program.
Okay, so that could be a hybrid of family members. It could be a hybrid of those you work with. It could be someone that you went to university. It could be your pastor. It could be a hybrid, and it can change. But make sure you have that. And then the last thing I'll leave you with, so that others can speak, is take risks. We don't take enough risk. We as Black people, and I'll throw the Latinos in there too. We don't take enough risk. We want the safe pathway that we know is calculated, and we know I'm going to take step A and step B, and we have to be really able to take risks. That's when doors open up. Now, you could take some calculated risks. You can have people who come along with you, and you kind of vet it before you decide to go into that space. But I really feel like go global, nurture your network, personal board of directors, take more risks.
Would anyone like to take that one as well, too?
I think, again, this is why we're here, right? To build the necessary social capital that we need as people of color to get into these rooms, to start to change the conversation, to be hiring managers. I always had the most diverse teams in my organization. Right? And that's because I did not define talent by a particular race or sex. I just wanted talent. I actually just wanted people that didn't think like me, because you get the same thing. So as you're navigating your career, understand that there is power in your experience and in your voice, and that needs to be in the room. We get in our own heads sometimes and starts to self-sabotage and not talk about our confidence issue or building up that confidence. And even the topics of the conversation of the panels today and tomorrow are all about you guys finding your own voice and holding space in that voice, and not listening to the party line. There's a lot of party lines out there about there's no jobs, AI, nah. Those are just distractions. Stay on course. Stay on course and find your network. Fern, Fern is absolutely correct, right? That personal board of directors, we talk about that all the time. And you know, me, Miss Renee, and Miss Vita, we have lifelines on our cell phones, right? When stuff gets going, it becomes I can't believe, yeah, that part, right? You need those people in your life that, again, tell you what you want to hear, or just let that pressure valve out. So.
I love it. I'm sitting here like, God, they're dropping gems. What am I going to say? I think what I would say, though, is know why you are here in this industry and know who you are, and almost more importantly, know who you aren't. Okay? Knowing why you're here is what's going to keep you going. I say all the time, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. So when I get out of bed, I need it to be for something that I am passionate about, that I have decided for myself means something to me. Because it's hard enough to get out of bed than to pile stuff on top of myself that I just didn't choose for me, and I'm just going through the motions trying to get it done. So don't be in this industry because somebody told you would look good in a hoodie, or because somebody told you in just 3 short months you can make $250,000 a year. Know your passion, okay? And that you're in this industry to solve a problem that means something to you. To my next point, knowing who you are. I say that because you will never differentiate yourself with a certification. You will never differentiate yourself with a degree or the little bulleted items of the things that you've done in the role after the role after the role after the role. What differentiates you is who you are and what you've been through and how you think and what that allows you to bring to the table. And that's why diversity is so important, right? Criminals, the adversaries, hackers, they don't care. They just want someone that can get the job done. And that breeds diversity of thought, diversity of experience, all the things. And that is what you bring. One of the things I talk about all the time is this thing that I bring that I can't put on my resume. I can't put on my resume, I grew up kind of poor, so I know how to make a way out of no way. But when I get into a leadership role, I'm solving problems in my team, and I'm making change with limited budget because I know what it feels like. I said this earlier. I know what it feels like to choose between a gallon of gas and a gallon of milk. That is a strength. That's nothing to be ashamed of. You take that, you stand in your power, and you know I can solve problems because anything this corporation can throw my way, I've seen 10 times worse than this in my life, so bring it. And your peers that just showed up in the room and they were entitled to roles and didn't have to fight for them, if they don't have $100,000 in that budget, they can't hit one company goal. And you're doing it with half that and even less. And then to my last point, knowing who you're not. Don't look at someone that's where you are and decide you have to be who they are to get there. Because when you get there, it should look like you, not like them. And if we continue to do things the way that we've always done them, according to the way others before us have done them, then we never make change. And we're here to make change. And we can make change just because of who we are when we wake up in the morning, and we should own that and be proud of that and do exactly that.
Hey, T, I'm going to add on to that. If you guys ever read a book called Strength Finders 2.0, excellent book. I would recommend it. It's not specific to cybersecurity, but it's just specific to understanding yourself and what are your strengths and playing to your strengths. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up with we have to know everything. Can't do it. Just can't do it. But if you play to your point that you were making, T, around you know your strength and you play to that strength, and then how do you build a team around you for where your weaknesses or your opportunities are? As a leader of leaders, I've looked at my global organization and said, okay, who's the innovator? Who's the marketer? Who's the real technician, the real technical technician? And as I was looking at developing solutions around the globe, I tapped on those resources because it wasn't about me delivering it all, but really pulling the best out of those people to deliver for the strategy. So I think Strengths Finders would be a great tool, if you haven't looked at it, to help you understand your strengths and hone in on that, and then find out how you build your network for what your opportunity areas are.
I'm blown away, y'all. Like gas. But I want to move into a little more controversial topic next. I want to talk smack about cross-generation really quickly. In the first time in the history of human history, we have about 5 to 6 generations working in the workplace all at once. So let's talk about cross-generational dynamics. And the question I wrote for this was, what has been your experience working with younger generations, such as millennials and Gen Z, and Gen Alpha as they enter the workplace? And what do you think each generation brings to the table? Feel free to spill tea.
It's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn.
Man, I don't know. I think generations, before me are, much more traditional in their approach to the way they solve problems. And then there's my generation that I think had the, I guess we're blessed with the opportunity to transition into technology. Like it wasn't like coming out of the Stone Age into, the digital era. We like grew into it. But now younger generations are born into this technology, right? You have 2-year-olds that know how to work Netflix and can operate an iPad, and then you got grandma in the other room that should know how to work all the things, and she's still fiddling around with how to get this calculator working, but no, grandma, that's your iPhone. And so translate that into the workplace, I do think it comes down to just, to double down on my point around diversity of thought, it is a difference in the way we solve problems. Like younger generations, I think because of social media and how fast things move, it's like instant gratification. We'll just do this. And I find that, and this isn't a knock on younger people, I love that. That means you're bold and confident in the way you think. But as you get into the more seasoned, I'm not going to use the old word, the more seasoned generations, there's a bit more desire for more of a methodological approach. That proving things out and the what ifs and like what's the risk and all of that. I do think too, younger generations are less accepting of the BS than more seasoned generations. It's like, I'm gonna work this job, and if I'm not getting what I want, I'm out of here. No, I don't wanna come to the office. I wanna work from home. I'm gonna work from home. And I'm sitting back like, God, I'm confident, but I got bills to pay,
That part.
So,
Watch me get out of here. I'm like, bye.
yeah. But I do think just in general, more confidence, less tolerance, more adaptable, more flexible, more creative, just because of the tools younger generations were just born into and had the ability to grow up with.
And Tia, speaking from a technical perspective, my view is different because I'm an educator, right?
She put on that real
And
talk voice.
I am, yes, I did. I put on the mommy voice. I'm an educator, and I see generations coming into this space, at all levels, right? And my challenge, especially when we're talking about the younger generation, is resiliency. That instantaneous gratification, when it doesn't work, destroys their confidence. And so they can be creative, but when it doesn't work, it sets them back like 5-6 years, right? And confidence. So there is a key to that. Methodological. That's isn't it? Methodical. There we go. Methodical. There we go. Methodical. Okay. Thank you. There is, because it's repetitive, right? And it builds on your success. Your success, once you follow a process, then you get confidence. So then, you continue on and you start to build that confidence. And that's what trips us up as minorities more often than not, is our confidence. And so that because the internet or TikTok or Twitter, whatever, they said it was gonna happen, it happened, but then it doesn't work at work, right? Because you're dealing with, the younger generation has to deal with the leaders, the old heads or the seasoned professionals. And we are used to discipline, execution. It takes you a while. You cannot just learn one thing and think that for 2 years and you know everything. It doesn't work that way. You need to experience global challenges. You have to be able to look at things from a different way in order to, again, build your confidence so someone will look at you as a subject matter expert. It's just, again, the instantaneous gratification, it just messes with their confidence when they're not successful.
Yeah, I found that too. I mean, I would say the problem, so while I think the younger generation can view problems differently, to the point you're making, Mary, when it gets tripped up, don't know how to solve it. And because of the past 4 years, we've had a hybrid situation. A lot of folks coming into the workplace don't know the culture of an organization because they worked remotely. And so how to solve problems within the confines of how that organization works. How a PepsiCo solves a problem might be different from how Capital One Bank solves a problem, might be different from, so pharma might be different from CPG, might be different from the next organization. And I think that's tripped up our incoming early talent with how do I learn the culture of that organization? How do I solve the problem in that organization? And if it goes sour, not just jumping ship. Because in our generation, I think we're probably all in the same age range. I'm just going to loop us on the stage.
On the stage, yeah.
On
This
the
is
stage.
Gen X panel.
On the
This is Gen
stage.
X. He's the millennial, though.
I'm Gen Z.
Oh,
no?
okay. I'm sorry,
I
Gen Z.
kid,
My
I'm
bad.
millennial.
My bad.
We had to work through stuff, and it wasn't easy.
Right.
I feel like we've lost that edge of like, and maybe that's my New York piece of me, like, hey, yo, suck it up, like, and get it done. Like, you don't just quit. I had a guy who I was mentoring at Pepsi, got him a job, and he had a little bit of controversy, and he quit. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're in a Fortune 50 company that I got you the job for. Black man, you making like $90,000. What are we doing here? And he was like, well, I'm just gonna move to this section. I'm like, no, you quit. You quit. So everyone is like, done.
Right. And that's that brand thing again, right? That, you know, when you ghost or when you give up, and then you expect the next job to be as easy as Fern taking a chance. Do you know what hit she took? She took a chance on you.
Right.
And you just quit. Now, will she ever help this young man again? Probably not get a job. I might mentor you. But that's the challenge that you guys need to understand. It's like you can't just bail when it gets rough. Right. You got to go through some things, because then what happens 6 months later is he still don't got a job. Right. And then it becomes, well, who's going to help me? Well, Fern not putting her neck on the line for you anymore.
I'll tell you, when you build partnerships with people who help you through challenges, it will take you further, because when you have the next challenge, one, they see your resilience and how you worked it through and how you partnered to get it done as opposed to abandon ship. So I think there's value in collaborations and partnerships, and that methodical way to work through things, and then also that creative way to work through things. But it's that togetherness. I feel like, you know, for wherever you are in your career, you need some battle scars.
Yeah.
That's what makes and defines you and helps you learn for the next.
That made me think of something, because, I mean, back to the technology point, we have to consider the human factor that technology removes from especially young children as they're growing up. Things like conflict resolution. If you're on social media and you don't want to deal with someone anymore, you just block them. But you can't go to work and hit block, right? You gotta deal with stuff.
I would love to.
I mean, listen,
block some
I wish
people
I
on
had a
Slack.
block button. I wish I had an eject button. All kinds of things, but like things like conflict resolution aren't things that technology enables the younger generation to do, or something as simple as having a conversation, right? We talk all the time about networking and building relationships. That's not clicking like on a post. That's not clicking add on a social platform. That's having a conversation. That's getting to know someone. And I think about back in the day, I had my phone and my answering machine. If you called and I didn't answer, I wasn't home. You left a message, and if I wanted to talk to you, I would call you back. But now you can get me on social media, you can text me, you can email me, you can do all the things. And the phone call, people actually ask for permission. Is it okay if I call you? That's so weird, right? But that's just, I feel like, yes, technology has enabled us to do some amazing things, but it has stripped us of some very basic things that could be differentiators. Well, they are differentiators in the workplace now, because they just don't exist regularly like they did back in my day.
Mind you, all these folks up here are saying back in my day, but skin looks great. Y'all don't look a day older. Like, I'm like, how can I get that skincare routine? Wear your SPF, y'all. We've talked about a lot of mentoring and items about like talking with younger generations and having these generational dynamics. How should we approach mentoring and leaving knowledge on the table? Like, and when to walk away, I guess, because I feel like for y'all's sanity and safety too, how does mentoring look like in your day-to-day now?
So I feel very strongly about mentoring and being mentored. I think it's bi-directional, because as I am now being labeled an old fart, I have to learn what's coming and new in technology and how do I stay relevant to our society and our culture. From a tech perspective, from a leader in the CPG space, from a black woman, from a black culture, I want all of that, and I don't have kids, so I think that the mentoring is very important. How do I do it is different now than maybe how I did it before. I feel probably 10, 20 years ago it was very structured. You're in a mentoring program for X amount of time, and I think mentoring now is more spot, and it's in shorter stints. So and maybe that's a coach, because I think there's a very big difference between a coach, a mentor, and obviously a mentor and a sponsor is very different. And so I think maybe there's more coaching I'm doing. And so, hey, you've got a situation, you've got to write a paper. So I'm coaching my nephew right now, who's praying to Jesus, God, Allah, and everyone else that he gets into college. So coaching him through a couple of things for that specific area. For the new folks who are coming in, they have, hey, how do I do with conflict resolution? So I'm mentoring them through a situation, but it's not like a 6-month long process. I have some of those, but few and far between.
So
it's more spot.
is it more like I hit you up on Slack or Zoom, or do I meet you in person first and say, like, hey, like, can we set up a mentoring relationship? How would I, as a millennial with no intentions of disrespect, approach someone like y'all? And y'all have become very approachable with all your Mary mentors, Tia mentors, y'all mentor together. How do we make sure there's no disrespect in approaching y'all and ensuring like a shift in cultural dynamics between Gen?
I will say respectfully, right? I mean, I get folks that email me or hit me up and they're just flat out disrespectful. Like, I owe them something. Like, it's like I got a whole business. I got 89 apprentices that I talk to. What makes you think I'm going to put you in front of the line? I need a job. No, I'll give you an example. You want an example? You guys know I have Mike Talent. I need a job. Can you help me? You need to call me back.
That was me. Whoever gasped, that was me.
No, what I do honestly say, Natalie, can you handle this for me? We have this wonderful relationship where when there are things that I don't want to go off on, I just ask Nat to do it for me because they have a lot more patience for that. But when it comes down to approach it, it's, people naturally want to give their knowledge, but when it comes that you're wasting my time, the ghosting, okay. The whole I'm not showing up for a meeting that I put on your calendar thing, that's a problem for me too. Because I have a lot of things to do, and if I give you access and you set up a meeting and then, the last one was I fell asleep on my keyboard and missed the meeting. That part. So taking it seriously, if someone wants to give you their time, approaching, and then following up and following through, that's the part, right? You're trying to build a relationship. I don't care how big the world is. Mm-hmm. The minority cybersecurity community is very, very, very small. Mm-hmm. And if you mess over one person in the community, that's going to come back on you. A huge blast radius.
I haven't had some of those experiences, but I'll give you 2 points of view. So as me being the mentee, I feel like I own that relationship and I cherish that relationship. And if I feel that the relationship is no longer serving me, it's okay to say to the mentor, I appreciate the time we've had together. This has been very informative for me. I just want to kind of bring it to a close, so that they know that you're good, you're done. As being the mentor, so I do a fair amount of speaking, and at the end people say, hey, can you mentor me? Hey, can you mentor me? And protect your yes. I protect my yeses. Because I've taken on some yeses, and it was a hot flipping mess. And then I realized that I put my name behind somebody who wasn't worth putting their name behind. And so I had to figure out how do I unwire that in a delicate way that protected the sister, it was a sister, and protected myself. So I really think that mentoring is very important, and I feel like we should have mentors and and bidirectional. Protect your yeses, own the relationship, and you know what? Vet people before you say yes. And it's okay to say, hey, let's have a cup of coffee, or let's talk a couple of minutes and ask a couple of questions. And then if you're not the right fit, it's okay. You know what? I'm probably not the right fit for you, but let me think about who I could connect you with and try to make a connection.
I agree with everything that's been said. My big thing as a mentor, because I love it, I'm passionate about mentoring because I didn't actually get a mentor until I was 18 years into my career. So that's a lot of missed opportunities. That's a lot of wasted money. That's a lot of spaghetti on the wall, just falling off, not sticking to anything. But my big message is help me help you, right? I can't tell you the number of times that I just get a message in my LinkedIn inbox that's a resume, let me know if you have any opportunities. Like, get out of my inbox with that, for real. Like, I mean, if Slack is available, hit me up on Slack. If you get my phone number somehow, we might have to talk about it, but if it's compelling, we can have a conversation or whatever it is. But when you reach out, when you say something, right? I need to know that you are clear on direction. I can't mentor you if you don't know where you're going. Google Maps can't help you navigate if you don't know where you're going. So I do not stand a chance. So in my conversations, I quickly know if I'm going to mentor someone or not because they know what they're passionate about. They know where they want to go. They just need some help with what's real, what's not, how not to waste time and things like that. But if you're looking for a mentor and you're joining the conversation and you haven't even landed on a domain within cybersecurity that you care about, you got some homework to do before you actually earn the right to get a mentor, before you're actually going to make a mentoring conversation worth your time or the mentor's time. So to your question around when to walk away to protect my sanity, it's when I feel like I care more than the mentee does. That can't be the case.
So Tia, let me add on one thing to that. So when it's time to walk away, the absolute worst thing you can say to a mentor is, I want to do anything in that field. I'll just do anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like, come on.
You can't order the whole menu. You gotta be like, I want the McChicken, I want the chicken nuggets.
You can't order the whole menu. So in the cyberspace, do you want to be in risk? Do you want to be in compliance? Where do you want to be and focus? So I would tell you, for me, if you come with the generic, hey, I'm looking to get into cybersecurity. Hey, Fern, I heard you did OT cyber. I like manufacturing. I'll do anything in that space. I'm like, miss me with that noise.
I know a cybersecurity company that needs a janitor. That's in the space. I mean, be specific. The more specific you are, the more specific I can be, right? And we don't have to have 10 conversations to figure out that maybe I should have connected you with someone 6 months ago, someone else.
Okay, so I do have a mentoring program, so please don't take the advice of my two panelists as if I won't help you. I will try. We have a mentorship program, and we have a matching process and all of that. So even if because my apprentices don't know. They don't. They have no clue. Because the cybersecurity industry leaves them chasing their tail. Oh, you need this certification. You need this. Oh, nope, you need this degree. You need that degree. Oh, you need this experience. Well, wait a minute. They don't know. They don't know. They're like, oh, Miss Mary, well, I got the Security Plus, or I got this certification. Oh, I got that certification. I still can't find a job because they tell me now I need 5 years of experience. What happens, right? And at that particular point, you guys need help. And so that's what the apprenticeship program is for. That's what our mentorship program is for, because you're chasing your tail. You're chasing your tail. You just don't know. Oh, I need to know coding to be. No, you don't, sweetie. No, you don't. Oh, I need to learn this Python. I need to learn this. That's not what a SOC 1 analyst does. Tia and I both know, and Fern does too, exactly what a SOC 1 analyst does, which is call the IT team to tell them to fix some problem. That's exactly what. And can you read? Can you follow an alert? Pick up the phone. There's a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Go fix it. That's it.
So that's fair. So that's very fair. So I think love to be a mentor in your program to help others. And maybe there is something around, helping the mentors also make sure there's probably a tiered layer approach that can happen to support that, right? And then, so let's talk offline. I'm happy to help because I feel like we have to mentor each other and we have to I'm heart for giving back. And I think it's so important because people don't know, and I will tell you, we're closely becoming the majority, but others who don't look like us get that mentoring, and they get it in spades.
And I don't disagree with what you said. I'm fully, some things people just don't know, but I do think there's a difference between someone that is trying to figure it out and getting bad guidance, because the industry is full of that. So they've tried things and they're constantly hitting against the wall. I think I'm going to do this thing. Is that the right thing? I think that's I'll mentor that person all day long. Well, that's very different from the person that just showed up and wants me to tell them how to get their life. Yes. I'm not in the business of getting other people their life. I will help you get to where you need to be to get the life that you want, but I can't get the life you want for it. That's for you to figure out, right? And I'll help you navigate. I just, if you can't tell, I get a little tweaked with laziness. I don't do that well.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us.
I think we also find, though, that with this generation coming in, I mean, I've had hey, how can I be a CISO in 5 years? Like,
Figure that out, tell me.
I'm sorry. That was me. I apologize.
Doesn't work that way.
It does not. It does not. They don't understand the political side. You don't understand the closer you get to it, the more obstacles they're going to put in your way. So focus on getting the toolkit that you need to survive, because from 0 to 5 and the closer I got to the CISO, the more I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll be a CEO. How about that?
The higher up you go, that sun is really hot.
Oh, yeah.
Mary,
really
I talked to Mary about this a month ago. I was like, whoa.
Yes.
Really hot.
Well, we've touched on a lot on this panel today, and on top of that, in the conference in general. So I want to talk about the future really quickly. So we've talked about in certain panels, conflict resolution, ghosting, everything. How do you envision the ideal workplace in the future? Like, what is, one, being a woman of color and being folks of color in this room, since we are going to be the majority eventually, we're going to have to start, doing some stuff, especially with generational change. What are some advice or tips or things that you would like to see in the future? Things you'd like to see us change along those lines. And this is more of a free topic. Feel free to ball out into whatever you want.
You noodling? Oh, okay. So y'all both noodling.
While they're noodling.
Okay. I think, and I'm noodling too, but it's just more so understanding your power and not hating each other for it. One of the things that the reason why I have the apprenticeship program, the reason why everyone is being trained as a cybersecurity analyst is because I don't want competition inside the house, right? I don't want them to have to choose. I want the industry to let me know what they need. And so a lot of times people are so desperate for a role because they've been trying for so long. And it breaks my heart at times to look at there are people in my apprenticeship program with master's degrees in cybersecurity and cannot find an entry-level job. That breaks my heart. So, and it's like, okay, how can I help? How can I help? What I would like to see change is for us to get into more leadership roles, as Fern pointed out earlier, getting to a point where you can be a hiring manager. As I said in my keynote, getting to the point where you have budget, where you can, invest $50,000 into an organization and watch it flourish over the course of the next 2 years, right? That's what happened to me. And so what I would like to see change is for us not to compete with one another, for us to have conversations like this, but then talk amongst each other, talk with each other. How can you help? I'm going to tell you, they network, the other side networks, and they network for a purpose, right? We don't do that. We don't network for a purpose. We don't build that. You can't, you talk about mentors, coaches, sponsors, etc. It starts with that just saying hello, right? My name is,
Yep.
right? And then it's like taking a moment to get to know that person, because then you start to care, right? And then you start to build a relationship, and you do it once, you do it twice. So what's happening with the generation, with the social media and the way we actually interact with one another, we, again, lost the skill, the ability to build relationships. Because when you need a job, you know, that's your peers, that's your network, that's the people in and around you that can be like, okay. You know, every executive role I had in corporate America is because someone recommended me. I never applied. And what do? Firm can attest to this, Tia can attest to this. They interview you, and then they say, okay, we just posted the role. We're going to open it up for 24 hours and then close it. Because they have, okay, we can edit that out. Because they have to, they have to have their role open. But that's how it works. A lot of the cybersecurity roles that are available that could be junior level, we're not in those rooms, right?
Pillow talk. It's pillow talk on that part, yeah.
It's definitely pillow talk.
I would like the talent pipeline, building on what you said, Mary, the talent pipeline to be flooded with people of color in cybersecurity and in technology, so that I don't continue to have to hear, well, we can't find the talent.
Oh,
Because I think you and I all know that's BS. The
Yep.
talent is out there. Where are we looking for the talent? Are we going to where the talent's going to be? Are we going to conferences like this? Are we going to Afrotech? Are we going to the places where the talent lies, where we could pull it from? And then I'd like to see more equity. So, and the third piece is so that we're paid fairly, like our counterparts are. And then the third piece is, while I want that talent pipeline to be flooded, coming in for cyber and in for tech, then we have to then make the jumps into leadership. So to build on your point, I'm telling you, I've traveled the world, and I just don't see a lot of us in other leadership positions, and they're out there. And how do we make that move from? So the best way so there's a pyramid. There's a pyramid here, and we flood this layer. So this pyramid is 3 layers. And at the tippy top are those who are in the C-suite. We flood this bottom layer. We don't do a good job making it to the middle. And then it's really, really small who makes it to that top, to like a VP or level role. And that's where I feel like we need to improve. And that's what I would like to see in the future is not us just flooding this bottom layer. Let's flood the top. Let's get those VP level roles, because that's where you have influence to drive change on the agenda.
Absolutely.
I think the number one thing I'd like to see change in industry is that there's not a need for the diversity conversation anymore. That's just my number one goal. I want to see skilled individuals doing the things which they are skilled to do. And color and gender and neurodiversity and all those things just are part of the equation, not a barrier to entry. And it's a reason that we have the cyber skills gap. So that brings me to my second point. I would like to see organizations do a better job of doing their homework and building their cybersecurity programs in such a way that makes room for entry-level talent. I'm so passionate about this, I created a LinkedIn Learning course on it, like how to build your program to make room for entry-level talent, because the skills gap isn't as big as we're saying it is, because you got a pile of companies saying, I can't find people, and you got a pile of people saying, I can't find work. There's a problem. And the problem is that security leaders are typically doing things the way they've always done them, with the people around them that they always had around them, and so they always have to fish in these mid to senior level ponds for talent, because they don't want to restructure their programs. They don't want to do the work, and the stakes are high, and we just can't risk it. So we definitely need to do a better job of that. And then on the flip side of that, we need to make sure we're ready. And I don't have about to get real voice like Mary does, but I'm about to get real for a moment. I can't tell you how many times I've had opportunities and I've reached out to lift as I climb, and our people aren't ready. We complain about not having the opportunity, and when the opportunity comes, we are not ready for it. And I know that's a huge problem that Mary's solving for, because part of it is that we don't have exposure to the things that we need exposure to, but we do have to take that on as our own responsibility to be prepared for the things that we want to go do, right? So that's huge. And that's why I say all the time, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And that is why my career took off the way it did, because I didn't wait for somebody to tell me, hey, it would be great if you went and got a little more knowledge around business finance. Like, I assess myself almost every quarter. I'm doing this thing now. What's going on in the industry? What's the business talking about? Where are my gaps? Let me go fill those gaps. And we need to be doing those things all the time.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
so I'm gonna be mindful of time. Right now, if you have a moment, vote on the questions on the Wahova app, so that way I know which one to ask. But I'm gonna
And
start.
there is a nice prize for whoever wins. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's gonna be me. Don't bother with that part.
Okay,
I'm on top of
it's
the
gonna be
leader.
you. Okay. All right.
Am I excluded? Stop. I put in work. Don't cheat. No. Anyways, the first question I want to ask is, how does your approach to leadership change in a large enterprise versus a startup or a small business through your generational experience?
I think if I think about startup, small business versus enterprise, I mean, to directly answer the question, I don't think my leadership style changes. I am who I am. I meet people where they are, keep people motivated to drive the business outcomes. But I think from a decision-making perspective, if you're in a large enterprise, you're typically making longer-term decisions, right? Because the business is going to continue to grow, and it's established, and it's doing the things. If you're at a smaller business or you're in a startup environment, you're typically making shorter-term decisions because you're trying to take on additional investment, or you're trying to go public, or whatever that is. And there's certain things you have to do to present a certain level of enterprise value when you're going out and trying to do these things. So there's probably a bunch of different ways to answer that question, but that's what stands out for me, just the way you have to make decisions, the way you have to look at the business, and the decisions that come out of that as a result.
Yeah, and I give the communicators this book called The First 90 Days, right? And in that book, there are like 4 different types of companies. There are the startup environment. There is what is lack of a better term, course correcting. Something went wrong and you go in as a leader, you're trying to fix a problem. There are the behemoths of the world that you're never going to change, this 50, 60, 70, 80, 100-year-old organizations that you're just going in just to keep the lights on. And I'm missing the other one. But all that to be said, the first 90 days, you need to figure it out. That means don't go in there telling everybody you're going to solve their problem, because you don't even know what the problem is. You don't even know what the culture is. I've seen so many executives, because they come into the room because they were hired, they don't listen. And they go in the room and they say, this is what you need to do. And then they offend the teams, especially the technology teams that they actually need to befriend to get anything done. So as an executive, and as you go into those rooms, the first thing you need to do is listen. And you need to get a sense of, how does this company even communicate? What is Miss Mary's preferred method of communication? Anybody want to say that out loud? Come on. Y'all know my preferred method of communication. Email, exactly. Right? You send me a text message, it will get lost. I'm sorry. You try to DM me, it will get lost. Slack. Only person I will answer the team. Alejandro loves Slack, so I know if I'm looking for him, I have to hit him up on Slack. I know his preferred method of communication, right? But all that to be, you have to even get to know what that organization looks like to be able to effectively maneuver, right? As a leader of 2 tech startups, I'm going hard because I feel the pressure of when the question is asked, where is all the minority cybersecurity talent? I want the answer to be my talent. So as we're developing that talent, I'm like, okay, we need to do this. And my team is like, I know Alejandro and Chioma and Jerome and Salim, they're like, slow down. I'm like, no, I got 89 people. I'm trying to find 100 cybersecurity roles in 2024. So I can't slow down. And so that, as an executive, as a leader, sometimes I have to take that time out to ensure that I am nurturing my team and giving them what they want. And I ask for feedback, but I know sometimes I'm you know, Special Agent Cheney as opposed to the CEO, Mary Cheney. But all that to be said, I admit that I'm transparent, and who I am as a leader in any environment is just that. I will tell you, yes, just like I tell my kids, I will come on strong, but I will listen. Right. Once I quit barking, I will listen.
I think I'll just add a little bit to that. You know, in any environment, you know, I worked for pretty much my entire career, a very large organization. So it was more enterprise and global. But within that, there are different factions. And so you could be in a startup mode for a new concept for a product, or you could be in a startup mode for a new project initiative. Or you could be taking over something that has gone bad, you know, and all of a sudden it's like you got to be the fixer and come in and do that. And I think to the point that Tia made, your leadership style shouldn't change. At the core, you should be who you are, but you have to flex to the environment that you're put into in the situation. So I heard a couple of things that I would say resonate with me. One, you've got to listen. What are the concerns of your constituents? What are the concerns of your leadership that you're serving, that you're working for? You have to set a strategy. And that strategy shouldn't be on day one, probably is after the 90 days, right? Outcome of that 90 days should be that you have a strategy. And then you got to figure out what's the most important thing that your leadership team is looking for. Is it points on the board? We have to have some quick wins to build confidence. Or is it I've got to quickly fix the situation, I've got to get productivity? You have to listen and ask questions, seeking to understand, but also that you're understood so that you can drive to the agenda. And I feel like part of being a leadership is understanding what's our end game? What are we trying to accomplish here? And then managing towards that.
Sorry, I want to add to that, if that's okay. Mary, when you were talking about the different types of businesses, it made me think also, you got to figure out what works for you. Like, I could never work in a large enterprise because I like noise, I like chaos, I like solving problems, I like getting hit in the head when I go to work every day. I love that. I don't like going to work and feeling like, to Mary's point, I'm keeping the lights on. I want to make an impact. I want to know that I'm doing things for a reason, but startup world is crazy. Might not be for everyone, but so it's important to know you and yourself and the environment that you're in. And along those same lines, when you're evaluating the business and you're putting together your strategy, which I think is incredibly important, you also have to assess yourself. Like, what are your tendencies as a leader? What are your biases? What are the things that you just automatically do that might not be a fit? I can't tell you how many C-suite executives I've worked with in a startup environment that come with their little playbook from the last company they were at, and they just copy off of one slide template and put it on the new company slide template, and here's my strategy, and here's what we're gonna go do. And I'm like, dude, that ain't even a problem we gotta solve. What are we talking about here? So, you know, don't be that leader, obviously, but just always assess yourself and how you're going into the situation and making sure you're thinking about it holistically and just not leaning on things that make you comfortable, especially in an executive leadership position, because people will call you on that quickly.
So Tia, one thing that you made me think on that statement is, so if you're younger in your career, or let's just say you've got a roadway of 10, 15 years, and you don't know which space fits for you, work for a consulting agency. For a couple of years, because they'll put you and drop you into a couple of different accounts, and you very quickly can say, ooh, I do not like pharma. Ooh, I do not like big companies. Ooh, I like small companies. Oh, you know, so you'll get a flavor, and it's a consulting engagement usually is not going to be, you know, 3 to 6 months, so you'll get a flavor for it. And then after a few years, you'll walk away and say, you know what, I really want to be in financial services, or I really want to be in pharma, or I really want to be in CPG. I was in the CPG space, so I can talk about that. But I think a consulting agency, and you could do that in cyber. So every consulting agency, PwC, Accenture, big ones, small ones, Booz Allen, they all have a cybersecurity arm, but it'll allow you to get different flavors, so you can find out what you really like and what resonates with you.
If they don't have a cybersecurity arm, they probably will buy one in the next year. And trust me, we were speaking about battle scars. A consulting agency is where you'll get them.
Yeah, you get knocked upside the head.
Oh, yeah. So we're at time, y'all. I've enjoyed the conversation we've had. I hope the audience has as well. Let's just do some closing remarks, quick, light, and then we'll close out.
I'm last.
Oh, okay. Wow. I guess I'll take it. The closing remarks is there's a plethora of opportunities out there. Be a continual learner. Go global. Go global. Go global.
Yes.
Go global. And again, relationships, the technology cannot replace the need for human interaction, and to know how to foster that human interaction amongst each other for us to be successful.
Trust, boomers still have trouble opening PDFs. They're not going to get replaced.
See, there's the shade. There's the shade.
There had to be some shade in this panel. They kept it really professional because we're being recorded. I know Mary's going to bleep out a couple things, so she's going to bleep this out. So we're good. It buys Tia some time to get her next line out.
No, I'm actually on my way to losing it. I'm like, hold on, Tia, hold on, stay, keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just share 3 things that I tell myself all the time. Simple isn't always easy, but complex doesn't always have to be hard. The other one is, the last person that should be telling you no is you. And the last one is, don't believe everything you think.
Okay, well, you know what? I will say to you, just stay resilient. We are coming. Each and every last one of us, we are building this community up, and we are a force collectively in the cybersecurity community. You may not believe it. I see it. You know how I see it? Because I get shade. I get hated on, right? If you're not doing something right, you won't get the haters, right? So, at the end of the day, continue to stick it out, and we got you. Everyone in this room, we will each one teach one. As we said earlier, we have to continue to share knowledge. Be very wary of scarcity mentality. What I say is there's a whole lot of money out in the economy that is not in my bank account, so I need to figure that out. How we grab as much as we can. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you to the financial planning workshop. I'm going to teach you how to keep it so you can build wealth in the community. So that is what we have. That is all we have. We, unlike last year, we're not having a reception, we're having dinner. So you got an hour before dinner starts at 6. And then we will have game night where there could be some spades and
Get ready to bet, y'all.
breaches, back doors and breaches. I got poker chips, I got dominoes, whatever we got. So I'm gonna do a quick change. Day 1 comes to a close, everyone. Thank you so much.
Let's give them.